負ける気がしないね。逃げたりしません。
Happy Tanabata! This is Boy in time for another Legend Fes Breakdown video, this time with a new playable character, Flocke Cerha from the game itself, Resleriana, alongside with a new variant for Suelle Malin from Atelier Lady and Suelle. So, one new variant, one new playable character in this Legend Fes Breakdown video.
いらっしゃいませ。フロッケのお店にようこそ。
There she is, guys! Flocke has finally appeared as a playable character, although she is part of the Swartz Rose collection. So, her subtitle being the Angel of Rose, I mean, to me, she just dressed like ready to be the Dark Angel of Darkness, but because of the Black Rose item, I mean, she kind of looks cute! So her status effect immune is the same as the other Swartz Rose characters that alongside Suelle will have anyway in the next part. Angelic Embrace, this is a very powerful ability that you can put her on any team, because all stats defense, all stats up by 10% is a little bit of a benefit that counts, like an incremental upgrade that will mean like a slightly big difference. I'm gonna have to explain this, but I already have her both global and Japanese versions, which I already did record one a day before this actual recording time. So skill 1, Spitting Knock. This is skill 1. This is 61% damage, 6% stun, 100 ticks of weight. This increases all allies' critical rates, including herself, by 10%, which is a maximum of 100%. So by the time if Flocke were to use the same skill 10 times, I mean, it's very long, not as fast as skill 2's Innocent Dreamer Resna, but if you're going to substitute her in battles where Resna might not be reliable because of counterattack enemies towards her, Flocke could use that a little bit. Because considering that it'll be a small upgrade, I mean, it's more or less going to be a waiting game until at a point where physical attack or any attackers will have to take advantage of the critical rate damage. Spitting Knock is going to be a slight help, but don't expect Flocke to be like a reliable critical rate buffer, considering that she will be useful in cases where Resna will likely not gonna be viable against enemies that will likely counterattack her. Flocke, because she has the skill 2 effect, even if enemies will counterattack her, as long as she can inflict less than the total HP that she has, I mean, she'll be fine doing skill 1, and then by the next turn you can use her skill 2, which, by the way, Blessing's Applause is so OP. Like, literally, I did use her in the Japanese version. You can check out my Japanese version streams. I did use her all the time after getting her. So, this recovers 93%, which is slightly less than the actual power, but 200 ticks of weight nonetheless. This targets all characters on all allies on your team. So when the HP is below 70 for any of your allies, she will boost recovery by 100%. So it's an additional up to 193% recovery effect. Then afterwards, once she throws her boomerang up in the sky, well, she will boost all allies' critical damage up by 25%. But, caveat is, this is a maximum of 50%, so you cannot go, like, double the damage, so don't expect Flocke to be, like, as much as helpful as the, a few characters that will be able to buff critical damage, like, Izana can increase her critical damage by up to 100%, but if you do side Izana on your team, Flocke is going to be useful with that with an additional 50%. So this gives Izana 1.5 times the critical damage than usual, as well as the, unlike using herself by like 100% self-critical damage buff, any attacker will be able to take advantage of her skill 2. It's just so powerful, but to be honest, I mean, she couldn't do it alone, so might want to expect to use her in such cases. Well, in most cases, if you're going to use her in Romance Grand Tournament, Strike Tower, or even the upcoming Grand Tournament, which are EX challenges and upcoming events. So yeah, I've got to check a little bit of those Grand Tournament updates in the meantime while after this recording. But nonetheless, best healer. Well, for a few reasons though. Alright, Summon Dive Bouquet Comet B-Roll.
ブロックだってやれるんです。これがフロッケの全力です。逃がしませんよ。
To be honest, Flocke's activation voice line when using the Bouquet Combat, I prefer the one in Chapter 10. No hard feelings, but this has more oomph to the to using her boomerang crashing to the ground towards enemies. So Strike, this attacks all targets. This is 300% damage, 37% stun, 206 of weight. Of course, because she is a supporter role, because of that uptick on 300% damage, she will likely be able to take advantage of this effect, which her burst will always critical hits, but before she can attack her enemies, she'll be able to she'll actually boost the critical damage received towards enemies by 30, which is a maximum of 60. So before Flocke can even use that boomerang to smash those enemies out of the ripples, then the enemies already got the critical damage received additional by 30 and then a cap to 60. You can't use this as part of your advantage to use critical attackers. Yeah, again, Izana for example. Flocke's burst skill is going to be a bit hard to take advantage of because most of the time Flocke will be useful on support role because of this effect on her skill too. If there is a moment where your team is already at 70% or above HP, all team average, including herself, then you can't use Flocke's burst skill. You have to use her burst skill strategically because this will not apply to certain cases where enemies will likely take advantage on upping its strengthening attack power by using strengthening panels. So be careful with using the burst skill because it will come out occasionally. Unless if you have a supporter or a defender that will summon panels, which we will see that in an upcoming Legend Fes Banner. But for now, Bouquet Comet is not as strong normally, but I did see a few players that did try to use Flocke as some kind of support DPS. I mean, back in my Genshin days, I used Kokomi sometimes for support DPS, for goodness sake. I see that it's possible, but for my case, I guess Flocke is going to be as useful as not necessarily a replacement for Lily because Lily already has her own merit of increasing attack for selected ally or all allies. Flocke is, however, only going to be useful if you have characters that rely on critical hits. So, or if you have Innocent Dreamer or Resna by your side or using skill 1. I could say Flocke is going to be a bit stronger than I'm just gonna say it. Flocke is stronger than Lily healing wise, but I always say this. Flocke is not necessarily the strongest by damage support wise because if it only works if you were to use her skill 1 many times or if you have Innocent Dreamer as by your sides. Yeah, do I recommend her? A must pull if you're running out of characters or if you have Totori, Aisha, Bedaru, or Lily having their healing powers a bit underwhelming, and that won't work on risk 7 dungeons or above. I mean, you can cheese it with Bedaru or Lily using their group healing. Flocke is just going to be an incremental step towards near invincibility to your heart. Speaking of tags, we got the introduction of leader skill and tag in this version. Flocke's trade colors this time are, what did I say? Trade colors. Gift colors this time are yellow to purple. I mean, that matches almost. I mean, Flocke's hair color is yellowish green, but her eyes are as purple as heck. Okay, I had to pause this at the 10-minute mark because the 34th episode of the official Resleriana does acknowledge that 30% of the fortress guards in chapter 9 to 11 do have a crush on Flocke. And I gotta say, Suelle is jealous by the way. Anyway, let's continue. Yellow to purple, full recovery bonus, given to all allies by 10%. Guardian's Blessing, and all recovery boost, which is shocker! This one increases the amplification of this one amplifies the healing recovery, and then this one allows to increase like overall recovery given to all allies. So far, I haven't seen how this all recovery bonus works, but I think this works on items that are geared. However, all recovery boost is what matters. So far, I think there are a few recipes in chapter 11 where Flocke is going to be useful in synthesis combinations for this all recovery boost, but I guess you could say Peddler's Resolve to Fight is her advantage for this. But for some reason, I got my Flocke in the Japanese version getting at about getting my team to about 30,000k, which is kinda above normal because I ever used the time to study rank 4 Memoria. But Peddler's Resolve to 5 kinda and buffs your character as high as 8% in multiple for each merchant character in your party. Now, due to limitation, merchant. Let's see for the tags. Lantarna, she's a member of it because, yeah, she has family and friends, by the way. And merchant, if you're going to utilize her leader skill, do note these characters, especially three Resna variants. Claudia will be having her own Sen variant later. Cornelia, Nadi, and Judy. Judy does work part-time as a merchant in her original game, plus she is part of that tag. Huh. And lastly, Chef, Riori. All I got except Maid Day Eska. So, rip me, I already have her in the Japanese version, but not in the global version. But I do have Elfia though. So, overall, best supporter. Healing-wise, better than Liddy, or Beredu. But attack-wise, she is restricted to critical buffing, so only for critical damage she'll be able to use that. But considering she is useful for your anti-Weltex team or for your strike team, heck, Black Rose Valeria will be able to take advantage of her freaking critical damage buff and critical damage received towards enemies. If you need a quick finish battle, not like less than 10 turns or so, Flocke is going to be the supporter to finish off story part 1. And if you have Black Rose Valeria or any other strike attacker, I mean, good luck with that! Because, yeah, you will need her skill to reverse to clear out Weltex in story chapter 11. Like, I couldn't beat Weltex double S rank in the Japanese version. So Malon has returned to the battle, this time with her second variant, the stab attacker set called the Regular Rose. And yes, this is part of the Black Rose collection, and she is the last character that you can get out of the 6 characters from the final battle arc. Now, I gotta be honest, this is somewhat better than the strike attacker Suelle. Ability this time has bucklet knees after any character in the party uses a battle item. Note the battle item, which can be attack, enhanced, strike, or weaken. This allows her to, whoever enemy she'll be targeting with, not only attacks that enemy, but will also delay its turn for 1 turn for 1 attack. She can only do this up to 3 times, and this will work if you at least activate 1 item at a time, so works in similar tandem to Liddy, because Liddy's ability will allow her to dodge an enemy's attack, like 1 time, 100% evasion. Well, Suelle has that in form of her skill too. And by the way, her leader skill is Mischievous Little Devil Idol, which, coming back to that Yokohama battle. Now, her physical attack is 1014. This is because now the battle points that she has is actually higher because of the recalculated power stat, which is available 1 version earlier from the Japanese version. Amethyst Spike. Now, basically she just jumps in step and then just flashes the enemy downwards. 98% damage, 8% stun, 106 of weight. Just like her twin sister, she can restore item gauge by 10% and boost her own physical attack by 10% with a maximum of 30%. Now, this is the same effect as Lily, the item gauge part, but this kind of looks familiar for those who have the Night of the Midnight Sun Juna. I already have her in the global version, so there are some similarities between her and Juna, whereas Suelle will be able to stack her attack if she's on your skill, using her skill 1. But Juna, on the other hand, increases her physical attack with her skill 2 item. Actually, that works differently because she basically buffs her skill damage. Suelle does this by internal stats, so not necessarily like depending on her damage, skill damage stat. So yeah, it's a decent item gauge restore and a even slightly good help for stacking your physical attack. You might use this with Empel anyway, if you have him in your party. If Empel were to be on your team, Suelle might be able to take advantage of Empel's skill 1 because of her physical attack being highest. So even if they're in a different element, it's fine. Falcon Falls, 375% damage, 40% stun, 26 of weight. This is one enemy only, so it's just a single target. This allows her to gain evasion for one attack, and it's, by the way, no chance of failing. Unlike Monica, who is a stab defender, 1-star variant. Now, this is quite easy to dodge, especially you can use her in Chapter 10 and 11 dungeons, which both of them have the same set of biome, to be honest. The Healing Gardens. Yes, Chapter 10 and 11 does have some sort of enemies that will counterattack. The Man of War, the Count of Healers, and even the Ancient Golems. You may use her, recommended character if you want to clear out the last 2 dungeons for Story Part 1 because of her invasion. Do note this is only for 1 attack. If there are follow-up attacks after, let's say if the enemy will do a direct shot of her, the second attack will just be nullified anyway because the 100% chance for evasion. So yeah, if you want to use her, yeah, you can clear her. You can use her in Chapter 10 and 11 if you want to clear higher risk levels. There's also like Risk 10 coming up in the Japanese version. We don't have that yet, but it'll likely be available anyway. So yeah, Ephemeral Edge.
華麗に決めちゃおう。今こそ最終奥義の出番。目にも止まらぬ早技いくよ。これでおしまい。いやー。
She gotta go fast with the Ephemeral Edge. Did I say edge? I said edge! So, single attack, 500% damage, 93% stun, 206 of weight. This boosts her damage by 1 to 100%. This is like her strike attacker variant, which depends on her own HP. She has to like go for either as high as possible or full HP. Otherwise, it won't take advantage of the boost damage by 1 to 100%. This will calculate in an additional manner on top of that having the 500% damage. So, as long as Suelle will have remaining HP, depending if she has halfway or up to like maximum cap, this will factor in additionally to your skill damage anyway. And even better is that before she can attack that enemy, do note that she will boost her own skill damage by 50%, which is the cap of 100%. If you have her max HP, by the time she uses her second burst, guess what? 700% damage! That's over 700% of damage. My god. And just note, the physical attack on her, although just level 80, without any bonuses, that's freaking high. And while she is capable of being a solo attacker on her own merit, she is not necessarily like as strong as Swartz Rose Valeria if you're going to counterattack that Valeria's Black Rose variant is always guarantees critical on skill 2 and burst. But Lydia, on the other hand, she focuses more on raw power, so if you're not going to rely on critical buffs, then Suelle might be able to take advantage of this one. Either without critical damage or not, but it's more recommended that she'll need at least some kind of chance to hit critical attacks, because you might need that 700% advantage to counter that. You might be able to finish stab bosses, stab towers. Especially, I think stab tower is still ongoing. He's not actually stab tower. That already had done like last month, but you can use her to clear up a few more levels of stab towers, and I gotta say, I did use her sometimes in that stab tower, and she is pretty good. It's just that I need to shuffle a few characters and then take advantage of the tower's elements. Now, disregard this one. This is the same status effect as the other Black Rose characters we have, the Swartz Rose. This Suelle variant has blue to red. I'm not sure that's gonna be a good idea. Not sure if there are some combinations that you might be able to take advantage of these 3 traits. Now, this is special to her because the enhanced blast attack, I did not see this in any of the characters I checked. This boosts damage by 5 to 45% on final use, meaning only that damage will be buffed on the last part of the attack. So if the character inflicts two or more hits, the final hit will actually be amplified with this trait. That is quite special, and I haven't utilized that trait yet, considering I'm not sure how this one works. So I'm considering the last hit being the one will get its amplification. Technically, it's not necessarily like powerful. You still need to have other chain attacks to like either improve or use critical hits to justify its usage on the enhanced blast attack. So think of this as like a specific case where Suelle's last strike with her burst. I mean, this will be able to see if whether or not she'll be able to enhance that damage by like 0.5 times more than her other chain attack, which is single to a fifth or something. So stab curse reduces 1 to 1/10%, and physical damage will boost pool. This is useful if Suelle were to use any of her skill at full HP. First particular, in her strike attacker variant, she relied that on skill turret first, and it's a pretty good solo attacker. Probably the strongest for stab element, but it's gonna be comparable between Swartz Rose Suelle or Juna, the Night of the Midnight Sun one, because Juna, white overall, is kind of powerful, considering that you'll need her for slightly getting her into attacks faster, as well as boosting her skill damage. And I gotta say, Juna is more on the defense side when it comes to using burst, because this allows her to remove her damage received down debuffs, like remove those, and oh yeah, this also debuffs enemy received damage down towards enemies, and I forgot that. I also covered that. But Suelle does this. If Suelle can slightly boost this by up to 700% if you were to use her second burst and then have her max HP. This wouldn't matter, but having Juna or Suelle by her side, either of them have specific cases where one of the two will be strong enough against stab bosses. If you need some kind of critical power to finish the battle, not particularly tech, but also to stab element bosses, I mean, Suelle's gonna be that particular little devil idol to finish the battle. So, leader skill is earnest listener characters will get an increase. All stat increase by 30%, so this leader skill does this. For those who are on the earnest listener, by the way, I don't have any of these, except I don't have Sophie in this account. And also, anyone from the Mysterious series can take advantage of that. She does have Family of Friends, obviously, and Spirited. My gosh, is she some kind of saint? Well, nah. I mean, she did one time try to make a Jack-in-a-Box, well, before the start of chapter 11. Anyway, overall, solo attacker, pretty comparable to Juna, but Suelle focuses more on amplifying damage when she has at max HP, and she can delay a few turns for that particular enemy that she'll be facing. So, recommended both. Depends. If you don't have Juna for solo attacker, or if you want a character to particularly replace 1-star Valeria, I mean, Suelle could be a useful solo attacker for specific reasons, and even she can also be useful on standby. So, preference is up to you. Whether you like the leader skill or you like your personality. I just like the costume overall. A future we're fighting for is the Memoria that you can get for Flocke. This is highly recommended because both defense stats are at its highest. Physical attack is at 21.25, so if you want to use Flocke as some kind of support DPS, I approve it. And this effect's only at rank 5, but when equipped to a supporter, boosts all allies' critical damage by 28%. Gee, you know what else that does the same effect but for a different target? The time to study Memoria. But because this is only on critical damage, you will need at least a few tries to buff your team's critical rate in order to take advantage of the Memoria's effects. I guess you can consider using this Memoria if you have Innocent Dreamer and Resna by your side. Flocke can use her critical rate buffer as skill 1, but it will take a long time for her to take advantage of this Memoria. I'd say it's the best banner for the new character, and quite a decent banner for the new variant of that existing character. I gotta say, I kind of like this banner overall. I mean, not only do you have the cutest character, like I say, 30% of the Royal Knights who are patrolling around the seaside fortress have a crush on Flocke. But for Suelle, because as for Suelle, somewhat more outgoing twin sister, you can rely on doing one nasty first animation that, yeah, it's pretty late. Best first animation for the end of the Legend Fes Banner. Now, it's not the last because the next one will be something special. And before I can finish the video, I will show you my recording highlights on how I actually got Flocke and Suelle. So consider this is the end of the Legend Fes Breakdown video. So enjoy the rewind recording that I made. So that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys on a certain alternate universe where we'll be able to start another set of Legend Fes Breakdown video with girls in school uniforms. So.
それでは、フロッケは売り場を移動します。
Alright, this is a bonus ending to the Legend Fes Breakdown video that I will be making in about 3 days from now. So I did have to drop down a few more of these limited packs. So, ooh-wee. Now this is the only time that I will be doing the multiple Legend Fes Banner wish this time because all 3 parts are available, but part 2 of the final battle arc Legend Fes Banner will be only available for like 1 day. So this is the only chance that you have to do like 1 pull at a time. So time for the final battle, chapter 11. I can get Flocke or Suelle in any of the batters, like give me at least one. Gosh dang it. Not even once. Not even two shabbies. That's part 3 down. Last chance to get Heidi or Edie's. Not this time. Oh well, there goes my chance. Alright, still got more chances to get either Valeria or Heidi. Did I get any of the two then? No! Not even Resna free. It is actually recording at 120 frames, but on OBS recording I'm recording at 60 frames. So yeah. Regardless, I'll just do the last 10 on any of the two anyway. If I can get Suelle or Flocke at any of the rolls, then I can exchange one spare for the other Black Rose character. They call it the last day. If everyone's resolved it, then yeah. Ah! Not this time. Oh well. You're kidding me! So unfortunately I'm not gonna get you anyway. Saskia! Like, don't give me hope. Don't give me hope, at least. Yep. All according to plan. Even though I already have June in my global account anyway. Looks like I don't have. If I can get at least Flocke in the same wish result, then I can exchange one Swords Rose from another set. Then I guess it's 4 SR results. Hey, not bad. Not bad. At least I got Suelle. Well, that, or I'll have to get at least a few more chances to pull for Valeria or Valeria or Heidi, Lily or Phyllis. I needed either of the two though. Sheesh. A few more rolls to go to get another 3-star character. I'm a summon Flocke. That's gonna be it for this video. See you on Saturday.